Do you want more referrals? Who doesn't? One of the easiest ways to do that is to partner with other businesses. So, have you ever considered partnering with other businesses that have a similar customer database to you and then working out an agreement where you can offer each other referrals? Well, this is called a strategic alliance. And I'm going to share with you today some of the ways of going about building a strategic alliance. We're going to talk about some of the pitfalls and a way to make sure that it does succeed. Now, also, as a special bonus, I have a worksheet. I have a worksheet. You should find the link somewhere in the comments. I'll get one of my team to pop that in shortly, and you'll be able to download that worksheet for yourself so you can go away and you can start building this as a strategy in your business. Now, referrals are one of those things where if I ask anybody, would you like more referrals? They typically say yes. And the reason for that is because a referral is a nice warm lead. Let's face it, your conversion rate from referrals is always warmer. Now, do you know why that is? Well, you could probably have a bit of a guess, but the main reason is that because the trust transfers. So when somebody refers you to somebody else, there is trust that is transferred, which means that that particular person doesn't have to work as hard to earn your trust. Now, if you don't have a referral and you're just starting out from scratch with somebody, building that relationship can take a bit longer because you don't know, whether they've been successful at helping somebody in the past. And this is why referrals are such a big thing. So when you set up a strategic alliance, the same thing happens: is the trust will transfer, because if a company starts recommending somebody else, then typically that means that that person is trusted by that company, and then they feel that their customers can also trust that supplier. So here's the first thing. This is the best way to start this. I'm going to give you some really dead simple things to do. The first thing is I want you to write down a list of the 10 products or services that your customers buy at the exact same time that they buy your product or service. Okay, that's probably a good starting point. Now, you could also look at what other products or services they're buying that aren't related to what you do. But I typically like to find the top 10 things that are related to what it is that you do. So that's the first step. Now, the worksheet will take you through this step by step. So make sure you check out that link and you download the worksheet, because that way you can make sure that you are not having to worry about what the next steps are. There's also some other tips and hints in that worksheet to make it really easy. But the best way to think about it, what are other products or services that you could add on if you wanted to, when you were selling your product or service. And then instead of trying to create other divisions in your business to sell these things, what I suggest you do is that you go and find people that you can partner with that already offer these products and services to their database. And that you don't want to find someone who is a competitor. You want to find somebody who can enhance what you do so that you can partner with and that you can work with. Okay, so that's the first thing: is make the list of the 10 things that is going to work well for you. Now, the next thing, once you've made that list of 10 things, is you do want to start looking for potential partners. Now, it's always important when you set up a strategic alliance that you find somebody you feel like you can work with long term. The reason that I think 95% of strategic alliances don't work is because people make the agreement in the beginning. They don't put much effort into creating the systems or processes for it to work. And then quite often they have different sets of values. And so if you have a different set of values, it's going to make it difficult for you to actually promote that person. And it is a quid pro quo program. That's what strategic alliance is, where you give them referrals and they give you referrals. So you want to find somebody that you can work with, that you like, that you're comfortable referring work to. You also want to find somebody who does good work, that looks after the customers in the same way that you do, and has similar values, because it's going to really help when it comes to referring customers. You want to be comfortable referring customers, because if you don't refer customers, you can't expect them to refer customers back to you. Just that's how it works, right? It's a strategic alliance. Now, the way that you could do this is you could go out to your current sort of contacts, and you might have people already in your sphere that do these things. If not, just go and check out local directories, maybe do a Google search, look on Facebook, start looking around for companies that might deliver these things and start the conversation. I would never do a strategic alliance without going for a cup of coffee or a beer. I wouldn't just, or at least having a meeting of some sort, and I like, breaking bread, as they say, if I can, to do a strategic alliance, because I really get to know the person if we have a drink or a coffee or a lunch or something like that. And remember, you're investing in a long-term strategy. So, be willing to invest a little bit of time and a little bit of money to set this up properly. And that way you'll set yourself up for success. So after you've made your list of 10 potential products or services, then make a list of 10 potential uh, partners that you could partner with. And I've got some notes here. I'm going to give you 5 tips to make sure that these strategic aligned partnerships work. But you make a list of the 10 partners, and then you start contacting those people and introducing this idea to them. And all you need to do is you'd ring up and say, hey, it's Ben here. This is what I do. I've been looking for somebody who I can refer my customers to, and I came across your business and you look like you could be a great fit. Would we be able to catch up for a cup of coffee or a lunch so I can run this past you? So don't ever go in saying, I want you to give me leads, because what they're looking for, they don't know you from a bar or soap. They're looking for what's in it for them. So always start the phone call with, I'm looking for somebody that does what you do that I can refer my customers to. Are you looking for new clients? Are you looking for more customers? And they're likely to say, yes, we are. You say, great. What I'd like to do then is set up a time where we meet. Would you be available for a Zoom call? Would you be available for a coffee? Whatever it is, whatever your preferred meeting methodology is. And then you can meet, and that way you can then start to discuss what the opportunity is, and you can talk about at that meeting the fact that you would also like them to refer you customers as well. Now, if you do this with all 10 of the people that you've written down, you'll probably only get 2 or 3 that are going to work out. I'll warn you right now, that's just the way it works. Just because you're proactive doesn't mean they're going to be proactive. I've had plenty of strategic alliance partners that have been gung-ho, excited, and then done absolutely nothing. I always do the first referral. And anyone who's ever been a strategic partner with me will know that I always shoot the first referral off, and I always try and do it within 24 hours. So I typically have someone in mind before I go meeting. If I'm happy with that person, then within the next 24 hours, I'll do an email intro. Because remember, there's a law there of reciprocity starting to take place. If I give you one, you're going to feel compelled to give me one, right? So I start the ball rolling. Always have someone in mind. Anyway, here's my 5 tips. I've got some notes here. First of all is agree on clear goals so you're all on the same page, and document any agreements to make sure that nothing is overlooked or assumed. One of the biggest issues you can be faced with when it comes to this kind of thing is that assumptions are your worst enemy, and people will make assumptions if it's not clearly documented. So even if it's just a one pager, here's what we discussed, here's what we agreed. Are you all good with that? Just make it really clear. 2, set up a regular catch up. This is another problem I see with people. They set up a strategic alliance, they set it and forget it. And that's not what you want to do with a strategic alliance. It's a marketing strategy that's going to need continual work and improvement. So at the end of each month, have a set day of the month, whether it's the 4th Wednesday of every month or it's the 30th of every month or whatever it is, where you catch up for half an hour to an hour. Preferably, if you can, just catch up for a meal or a coffee and say, hey, let me give you some feedback on the leads we got from you. Can you give me some feedback? Or, hey, we didn't get any leads this month. Is there something we can do to make this work better? And I'm going to give you a tip in a second on how you can get more leads out of your strategic alliances as well as a bit of a bonus. Third thing is make sure that you take time to build the relationship. So, and I think it's really important that people will refer people that they trust, they know, they like. So you want to build that relationship up, make sure that you're doing whatever you can to continue to foster that throughout the whole strategic alliance. The 4th thing is educate each other on the benefits of your business. Do not assume that this person knows what the benefits are of dealing with you just because what you do is pretty mainstream, even if it isn't, right? It's the most dangerous thing that you can do. So what I like to do is actually spend some time explaining to that person what it is I do. And a good way to do that is to put them through your sales process. Now, they might even buy from you. You don't know. It depends what you offer. But I would say to them, let me just take you through as if you were a potential customer. The same thing I would do. I'll do you a quote, or I'll do a sales presentation to you, or I'll do an analysis, whatever it is, whatever your process is. Maybe take them through that so they can see, but then also make it really clear what makes your business unique. What are the benefits of dealing with you? Maybe talk about some of the customers that you've dealt with in the past, if you've got any that are sort of notable, and that way it gives them a bit of feel. Maybe some case studies, if you can, even see if they'll meet you on a job site if that's the type of business you run, or take them some samples of stuff that you've made. Whatever it is, give them a real good feel for what it is that you do. And encourage them to do the same, by the way, so you can be better at referring them business. The 5th one is be patient. It can take time to build a great strategic alliance, but it will be worth it in the long run. If you think about marketing, marketing is a relatively expensive endeavor for any business in a lot of ways. But if you get it right, it becomes an investment. And that's really what you want this to become. Your strategic alliance should become an investment of your time and an investment of your money. And you should work together to continue to enhance the relationship and enhance the way that you promote each other to each other's databases. Now, having said that, the way that I like to do strategic alliances that is dead set simple is doing what I call an email joint venture. So it doesn't take much effort from either party. Let's say I was going to partner with you. I would write an email as if you had written it to your database, introducing me and a lead magnet, something free that they can download. And what this means is that I instantly get a portion of your database into my database to continue to foster the relationship and build. And in return, I do the same thing for you. You would write me an email as if you were me, and I'd send it out to my database. And this is a very, very common marketing strategy. So if you're not doing that, at the very minimum, that's a great place to start with your strategic alliances because it's dead set simple. All right. Hopefully you found that helpful. As I said before, the link will be down below in the comments. Make sure you grab that free guide because it will take you through the process step by step and give you some ideas and inspiration as you go through and you build up your strategic alliance list, and hopefully you'll see some great rewards and referrals coming through from your efforts in not too long in the future. It's such a great and easy way to build good, solid, ongoing marketing relationships. Now, down in the comments below, I'd love to hear from you. Have you got any other tips or hints when it comes to referring other people work, or maybe share your biggest horror story? Because I know we've all got a horror story where we gave somebody a referral and then we copped it. So, and that's what's so important to build good strategic alliances, because you will wear the brunt of any shortfalls of the person you refer them to. So make sure you're very careful about who you select to work with, and make sure you continue to foster that relationship. I've been Ben Futrell. You've been fantastic for viewing in. If you've enjoyed the video, you know what to do. Smash that like button. I'll see you on the next one.